we had a big ice skating rink, but it was outside, so we could only skate if it was cold. And at that time, it was cold, all the time. And so I skated there, and I remember one time I was in a show, and I skated, and they said that, well, this is, Marta Hortobágyi, and she's the hope of Székesfehérvár, because, it was a little girl in it. So that was the first thing. And then we didn't have a lot of ice for a couple of years, so my parents enrolled me in a ballet school. And that's why I was such a good gymnast, because from the time I was 5 until I was 13, I was in ballet, and I was good. And one time I actually wanted to try out for the National Ballet School in Budapest, and I was 13 years old. And I went through all the way to pretty much to the end, and finally I didn't get in because I was 13 years old, and they wanted to get kids no older than 10. And they said, I was good, but I was too old at 13. So that was my ballet career. But that's why I was so good in gymnastics, especially on the floor exercise, because I had a lot of ballet training. And so that was the second occupation. And after that is when I started, when I was not, accepted to the ballet school, then I don't know how, but somehow I got into gymnastics. And then from then on, that's all I did, from the time I was 13 years old. And then that's, there was in Hungary, all the sports are like, it's like private. It's not through the high school. It's not through the schools. It's all through just, I don't know, how would you call it? A club, right. It was a club. And it was a gymnastic club. So in Fehérvár, that's how we call it. We don't say Székesfehérvár, we just call Fehérvár. Everybody knows, what that is. So that's when I started gymnastics. And there were a lot of, kids, a lot of girls, boys and girls, but there were definitely a couple of us who obviously had more talent than others, and we were picked. And we went to a special class. We did not just go with the rest of the gymnasts. We were trained. That was the beginning of my training.